how can I sit around and make this thing pay me $100 a day? There's all kinds of apps that advertise passive income, but what does that actually mean? After a quick Google, I have a small list of apps that you can download straight to your phone that claim to give you free crypto. Of course, I wouldn't just give you this list and then set you free like you're today's contestant on The Amazing Race. So I spent the last week giving these apps a run for their free money. By the end of this video, I think you'll be able to decide for yourself which apps are really worth your time. First, we have Ember Fund. This is a hedge fund for crypto investing and trading, but they also offer free Bitcoin mining directly on your phone. If you know anything about Bitcoin mining, you'll know that it takes a powerful computer and a ton of electricity to mine Bitcoin effectively. So I was a little bit skeptical because while my phone is, a pretty impressive piece of technology, I don't consider it a 24/7 energy-intensive cryptographic math problem-solving machine to verify and add transactions to the blockchain. With that being said, let's jump in and crunch some numbers. When you start using the app, it claims to earn 5 Satoshis per hour, and that's really just a fancy way of saying less than a penny. So I opened the app, started my rig, and did nothing, because that's kind of the point here. You don't really have to do anything. I won't bore you with all the complicated math, but if you were to mine Bitcoin 24 hours a day for an entire month on this app, you would have mined roughly $1.59. But wait, because we forgot electricity. Here in Puerto Rico, it might be a little bit more expensive than average. I won't overwhelm you with the rigorous calculations, but it cost me about 6 cents per month to charge my phone. So that comes out to a grand total of $1.53 in profit per month. So I was sitting there thinking, how could I improve my margins on this? Electricity is absolutely eating away at my profit here. And that's when I found this solar phone charger. Problem solved. I just needed 30 bucks. So I could start the app, and in 20 short months, I'd probably need a new phone by that time. But we can't complain too much because this is just free money as long as you remember to restart the app every 24 hours. Now, is this going to make you the next Elon Musk? No. Does it appear to pay you? Yes. Now, I have a little bit more hope for this next app. Well, actually, it's just software that I already had on my computer because back in March 2020, I went a bit overboard. I was trying to avoid any and all viruses, so I got Norton just in case. Now, I recently learned that this app doesn't just protect you, but it will also mine Ethereum on your computer. We already learned that my phone could mine some crypto, so my computer almost certainly should be able to mine much, much more. As soon as I started, I was projected to earn anywhere from $15 to $22 per month. This is beginning to sound like some real passive income. I mean, 15 to 20 bucks can at least pay your Netflix or OnlyFans or other essential bills. So I started the app, past $1 in earnings, then $2 in earnings. It was already my highest earning app until I couldn't take it anymore. This app turned my computer into a literal fighter jet. I'm not used to working in this hot, violent wind tunnel. I had to shut it off. I don't know. Maybe it's just my computer setup that's a problem, but then again, I can run 3 monitors on this just fine. It seems like this would work best if you have a computer that you don't have to use for work all day. That way you can just lock it in a room and you don't have to hear its screams. And I hate to say, but things actually got worse from here. Like I mentioned, I was able to tolerate $2 worth of wind tunnel, so I wanted to cash that out to buy some ibuprofen, and it turns out you needed $5 to cash out. I needed a win, and this app could be exactly what I needed. It has millions of users, coin app. You can earn in a number of ways, but the most popular is by geomining. Geomining is just a nerdy way of saying verifying your location. This means you walk around, run around, drive around, merry-go-round, whatever you need to do to show the app that you get around. The more you move, the more you make. Now, you probably remember the whole craze with Pokemon Go a couple years ago, that game that sent children out into busy intersections to catch them all. Coin app reminds me of that game, but instead of catching Pokemon, I'm catching a loitering ticket trying to get my miles in to earn passive income. I left Coin app running on my phone for a week to see how much I could make. And before I open my phone to look, I need to first admit that any location-based app probably isn't best suited for me. I mean, look at me. Do I look like I ever leave this dark room? So after 1 week of this running in the background, this app has earned me 294 coins. Now, that sounds like a decent amount until I figured out what a coin is worth. Well, 1,000 coins are worth 39 cents. That means my 294 coins is equal to about 11 cents. Now, I don't want to make it sound like Coin app isn't worth it. I feel like if you had the right lifestyle where you're always on the move, maybe you could make some money by using this. If I was a trucker or Uber driver or criminal on the run, I would definitely try this app out. So I might not get out much, but I do get my exercise in. And thankfully, there's an app that will pay me to be healthy because, living longer definitely isn't enough of an incentive. This app is called Sweatcoin. Through a complicated algorithm, it pays you based on how active you are. As I mentioned before, I don't really get out too much, so I decided that in order to properly test this app out, I should probably go for a run. So after a sunscreen bath and a sweaty 3-mile run through the park, I earned about 6 Sweatcoins. Now I have no idea how much these were worth, so I went into their sweatshop to see what I could buy. Now there were some coupons there that I could afford already, but I don't have time for coupons. I wanted to buy something tangible. The first thing I came across is one of those little Alexa dot speakers listed at 1,200 Sweatcoins. And you're probably thinking, Max, Alexa listens to literally everything you say. Why would you want that? And to that I say, I just downloaded multiple apps that pay me $1 a month to track me. Alexa is the least of my problems. So these Alexas retail for about $40 on Amazon. At my current rate of 6 Sweatcoins and a few curse words for every 3 miles, I would have to run about 200 miles to afford a smart speaker. So it looks like you make about 20 cents a mile, and that could actually add up if you walk a lot for work. I mean, if you walk 5 miles a day, that would actually be $1 a day. If I had this when I ran an ultra marathon, I would have made about 12 bucks.
Haven't thrown up in about 3 miles, so.
I'll let you decide if this is the right app for you. So given all of these apps, if I were to use them every day for a month, I would make about 34 bucks a month, far less than $100 a day, but it is free money. If you're someone who walks or travels a lot for work, you could earn way more. Mostly sitting at a desk, talking to myself all day doesn't earn me a whole lot, except for the fact that this is my actual job that pays the bills. But this does bring up a good point. I think there's so much focus on making money as easily as possible, doing nothing, which is fine if you can do it. But the unfortunate thing is if this stuff was insanely profitable, everyone would be doing it and the profitability would go down. I mean, I've done fairly well for myself, and I'll say that I've always earned the most doing things that no one else wanted to do when there were no systems in place. So in business, when I was 19, I took all of my savings and I purchased a failing moving company that no one else wanted to buy. It was insanely hard. I mean, there was times where I didn't have enough money to pay payroll. I bought discount groceries from this store that only sold stuff past the expiration date. It wasn't exactly fun, but after a few years of 80, 90-hour work weeks, I was earning far more than the average income and still buying expired protein bars at the grocery store, but that was a personal choice. In YouTube, I started seeing real traction when business stimulus programs were coming out, but they were insanely complex to follow, and I recognized this as a business owner. So I would actually read hundreds of pages of legislation. If you've ever read legislation, you'll know that's like torture, to figure out how these programs worked, and then I would make videos on them. No one else was doing it at the time because it sucked, but there was value and people started getting interested in my other finance content once they saw that. So once you figure out how to provide value, it's pretty insane how quickly things can work out for you. And then you figure a few things out, start building up money, and that's when you can really put your money to work for you. I'm not trying to brag or discourage or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that it's not a huge surprise that these apps didn't pay me $100 because, things that are worth it are generally hard, really, really hard. So $34 a month actually seems like a pretty huge win given how little work it is, as long as you don't mind, these apps tracking your every move.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Check out today's sponsor, iTrust Capital. With iTrust, you can place your crypto in a Roth retirement account, allowing you to invest and trade crypto, all without having to worry about capital gains taxes. If you use the link in the description, you'll find additional information as well as receive $100 in Bitcoin free for joining. Once you do have some extra cash to invest, check out my free investing content here on YouTube. And if you'd like even more in-depth specific content, you can join our investor community through Patreon, linked in the description below. There you'll find live coaching every day, all of my investments, research reports, trade signals, and the most friendly investor community on the planet. So that's going to do it for today. I'm Max Maher, and I hope you have a profitable day.